You're listening to the Big Sci Fi Podcast, the biggest sci fi podcast in the galaxy, with Adina, Brian, Chris, and Steve. We're a part of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, and we're having more fun than ever celebrating our 10th season and 4 years of friendship talking all things science fiction. Calling all sci-fi fans, you're invited to the party. Let's have some fun.
Today on the Big Sci Fi Podcast, we're heading back into the classroom of one of our favorite science teachers because we're diving into the film adaptation of Project Hail Mary. Now, we've actually talked with Andy Weir before, the author of the novel that the movie's based on. And if there's one thing we know, it's that his stories aren't just about surviving space. They're about figuring things out step by step, problem by problem. Sometimes while everything is actively trying to kill you. And if this movie gets it right, we're not just getting a sci-fi story, we're getting what Weir does best. Some combination of real science, real stakes, and characters who are basically the instrument of their own problems to a degree, until they're not. So the question is, does this adaptation deliver the same magic that The Martian did? Are we going full amaze, and 2 thumbs down? Or is something getting lost somewhere between Earth and Tau Ceti? So strap in, everybody. Try to remember anything important, and let's get into it. Along with my co-hosts today, we have Brian. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing great, Adina.
And
it's good
Steve.
to see you.
2 + 2 = 4. Can I go now?
And unfortunately, we are missing our 4th co-host, Chris, who couldn't be with us this evening, but that's okay. We'll be
make
thinking
it
about
through.
him.
Yes, we will.
We will survive. We will survive. And of course, I need to start out with, when you guys saw the movie, had you already read the book or not? Because I feel like that makes a difference.
Yeah, parts of it. I did not get through it all, because I let it expire at the library and had to return it. So I plan on reading it now, though.
Very good. Yeah. And I read the book. Let's see. We interviewed Andy 2 years ago. This
that
June.
Long?
Yes,
it was that long ago. Yeah.
It was June the 7th. We released it on June the 7th, 2024. And I know that because whenever someone on Facebook says something about it, I said, if you want to hear him talk about the film before it was made, go to this particular date of our podcasts. And so I remember a lot of the book, but not everything. So it was kind of fun watching the movie and trying to relate. Can I remember this? Can I remember that? So on and so forth. Yeah.
My wife is very interested in reading the book now. She goes, if this movie was this good, that book must be pretty fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's going to check it out and read that, and probably might be an Andy Weir fan now too, because of this film.
Yeah, I think that it's absolutely worthy. One of the things I was impressed with, because I went to the theater to see it with people, some who had read the book and some who hadn't. And what was pretty amazing, which was across the board, it was enjoyable to everybody, which I feel like that has been a rare occurrence to be like that, I don't know, beloved or something. Because a lot of times people who read the book, they're not happy with the movie, or people who see a movie without having read the book are missing something, and there's something off. No, it seemed to be everyone loved it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody say really harsh things about this film that I can remember, online or in person, people that have seen it.
That's amazing.
I know it's really rare, actually. Even, I mean, it's rare with our beloved Star Trek. It's rare with Star Wars. It's rare. I mean, I know there were people who were furious with the Lord of the Rings trilogy because they didn't have freaking Tom Bombadil in the thing. But yet there's people that absolutely loved it that had read the book. So I think we're experiencing such a rare thing here with this film. Like, it's truly amazing how many people are loving this thing.
Yeah. Now,
it's in. Oh, I'm sorry, Dean.
no, you go. You go first.
I was going to say what's interesting is that a lot of people go who've read the book, take a companion who has not read the book.
Mm.
Like went and saw it with my wife Elaine, and she had not read the book yet, which now, of course, she has it on her desk to read. And love the movie because as a stand, if you don't know the book, it doesn't matter because you're enjoying the movie. Also it's like you walk out of I came out of the first time seeing it, and there's a woman. She's explaining to with the guy she was with, all about the book. But not the only people that have any gripes about the book are the ones who, like you say, going, well, this wasn't in there, or this was changed, or what, why, And
So what was interesting is I had a bigger issue with that with The Martian because I remember I had read The Martian a few months knowing the movie was coming, and I remember all I could think about while I was reading the book was, oh my God, there's all this amazing detail that is going to get left out of the movie. I didn't necessarily have that feeling with this book, and
Wow.
I don't now. It's also been a longer time because I read it before we even talked to Andy a couple years ago.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
love this book even more than I love The Martian, but I don't think there was any like I didn't have that same feeling like, oh my God, were they going to leave out? I think at the time I was more concerned with how is Rocky gonna come across. Like I was picturing him like a big spider. And as someone who is like arachnophobic, I was like, was my concern. But then remember, we watched the movie Spaceman, the one with Adam Sandler, the one with our astronaut friend Rick had been like the person on. And they had done, I think I remember feeling like I wasn't so put off by the spider because that was actually a spider.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah.
And I wasn't as put off. So then I think that kind of allayed my nervousness. And given Rocky was not a spider, like it really did not resemble a spider to me at all, I had no issues. I had absolutely no issues. But that was going to be my biggest concern going into this.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing what they can do with special effects.
Yes.
And with the right voice actor connected to that, and just everything. I mean, it's even with the movie Spaceman, I remember going, oh, geez, it's a big spider. But by the end of the film, it was like a non-issue for me. I enjoyed that movie and all its quirky weirdness.
It was just a character in the film.
I got over it very quickly because it was so well done that I could suspend my disbelief, And I think the same thing with this movie. At first, I remember the first time seeing Rocky, and with having not read the book that far into the book, going, oh, I don't know. But within a few minutes, I'm going, holy crap, this works so well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm buying this. I'm all in on Rocky. It was amazing.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to call it criticism because I don't think that's what it was. I happened to be just today scrolling Facebook, and one of the sci-fi groups I'm in, I wish I should do a better job when I see something like kind of bookmarking it, and so I can contact the person, call it the name because I didn't catch a name, but this one person was asking an ethical question about it. So it wasn't a criticism of the movie, but just kind of having the ethical question. I thought it was very interesting. The concept of Ryland Grace. And again, of course, we're talking about a movie. If you haven't seen it, we are going to spoil it.
Yeah.
Now,
we should have said that to begin with.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it should be obvious. We're talking about this movie. It should be very obvious. But now,
by the time this comes out, if you haven't seen the movie, shame on you.
But also, if you've read the book and haven't seen the movie, it's not a spoiler because it is something that was also in the book.
Yep.
Whatever. But the whole idea that Ryland Grace was forced.
Yes.
And just the ethics of that. And it was interesting because in her post, she was talking about some real world things that we seem to force people into doing. She was actually specifically referring to like putting kids into like AP and honors classes, which when I think about me having been in them, my kids being in them, or my kid being in them, I don't feel like I was forced. I don't feel like my kid is being forced. But to me, like Ryland being or Grace being forced into this, like I kind of, if the whole survival of our species is on the line, I'm gonna say I am ethically and morally okay with it.
Yes, you're absolutely right, which is why when he said, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And it was like, no, you're going. And
Yeah.
there's no question about it. It was because this was the Hail Mary, and you are not going to make that pass at all unless, well, you're not going to make it. But this was it. And of course, as it turns out, the reason is the other two crew members don't make it.
Well, that's why he wound
Yes.
up being the only person there. I mean, that was just an unfortunate circumstance. The fact that they happened to pass away on the journey, that just, S happens,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
unfortunate. But I mean, the fact that, and again, it changed whether or not that they had survived or not does not change the fact that he was forced into it.
That's
to
right.
Be that additional crew
That's
member.
right.
That change,
Yeah.
that changes nothing. What would have been interesting.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
What would have been interesting is presumably they knew he was forced. So let's say they hadn't passed away. So coming out of this, the effect of it is having the amnesia. So what would have been very interesting. Now, again, not interesting in the sense I don't wish that they would have changed the book or movie. I think it was perfect the way it was done. But an interesting thought experiment would be, so the other two crew members are aware that he's forced. So let's say they all come out, they all survive, they all come out of their sleep. They all start out with having amnesia, but they get their memories back first. Now they know their colleague and crew member was forced. Do they tell him? And what do they do with that information?
Well, how do we know they would get their memory back first?
No, I'm just saying as an experiment.
No,
This is a thought experiment. Imagine that's the way it happened.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because everyone watches the movie. I think that's one of the things that people said, well, what happens to this or what happens to that?
Yeah.
It's not written. It wasn't in the book, so it didn't happen.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting it should have been. I think, like I said, I really think it was perfect.
It's the ethical question you're looking at. The ethical question of that.
So I didn't catch that. You're saying that part of it is not in the book.
No.
They forced him.
The way the fact of him being forced, that did happen in the book.
Okay.
And that reveal was also the big book reveal in the book. So that happened again, not 100% perfectly exactly, but that was basically what happened in the book as well.
Well,
is he slowly gets his memory back and eventually he remembers he was forced.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But I guess what I'm saying is, which is messed up.
Yeah.
But from a movie and book and narrative and drama sense was awesome. It was great. How it was done was like awesome for narration.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one.
But like I said, what I'm obsessed with thinking about is, again, like I said, not changing anything, but just as a thought experiment. Let's say his crew members survived. They survive and they have the knowledge. They know he was forced. So you have two people who know their third crew member was forced, and let's say they remember it first. Like, that's a weird dynamic.
Yeah. Which is maybe that is the reason why Andy didn't go that route, because it would have been more complicated.
Oh, no. And again, I'm not suggesting that it was an option for him or whatever. I'm just, like I said, the thought experiment of the ethics or just weirdness of that situation.
Right. And I did like the fact that, I mean, if you read the book, and I hope you do, a lot of pages are devoted to just him coming to grips with his reality. Figuring out where he is, that he doesn't know what's happened to him. And they did it in a very short, to the point, and almost to a level of humor with him stumbling and fumbling and all that. And I think they did a good job of condensing all that into a very short amount of time, because it would have consumed a lot of the movie if you spent a lot of time with him just coming to grips with the reality. Even in the books, I mean, he spends how much time just figuring out about gravitational pull and where he is, and realizing, oh, that's right. This isn't the right number of G's that I'm suffering from because I'm on a spacecraft. So
Yeah, no,
that's
there's he spends a lot of time figuring that out. So there, yeah, there is a bunch of detail from the book that's not in the movie
mm-hmm,
to include him. He spends a lot of time reasoning about Rocky and Rocky's species, which it
mm-hmm,
did not, all that. And again, like I said, I just didn't have the feeling I had with The Martian, where in The Martian, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing detail. They're going to leave it out.
yeah,
And again, maybe it's because in The Martian, to me, it's closer, slightly closer to reality, slightly
mm-hmm,
closer to what I do as a day job. So I care
mm-hmm,
about that detail more. I mean,
mm-hmm,
again, I care about all this science and all this interesting stuff too. But yeah, in the book, they went into a lot more detail on. I'm basically figuring out because I think they touched on it in the movie, but it wasn't as explicit. This
mm-hmm.
idea that Rocky's species is unaware of radiation and that just
Right.
radiation
Mm-hmm,
exists. And that's why all of his crew members died. So they kind of covered it, but in the book there was a longer whole period of time of
mm-hmm.
Grace figuring it all out
Well,
and
it's
then
also,
cluing Rocky in.
you know, and that's the thing. Like with me, I saw The Martian first and read the book second.
Mhm.
So for me, it was reading the book was more of the aha moment. Aha. Oh, so I get that now. And that was, because it was able to clarify, add more detail through the book as opposed to the movie. And the thing was, when I watched Project Hail Mary, I actually was spending way too much time trying to figure out which scenes were from the book or in the movie and vice versa. So seeing it the second time, I just watched it. And this is a movie you have to see twice because there's so much detail in it, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost, like I said, I was saying before we started recording, I almost saw it a second time.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, I don't go to the theater a lot these days. But if there was ever a movie would be willing to see a second time in the theater,
Mm-hmm.
given
Mm-hmm.
how infrequently I go, absolutely. Just it just didn't come together this last week. But
And
yeah,
for my
well, I mean, but
wife,
once it's available on streaming, I will absolutely watch it again for sure.
yeah, for my wife who did not read the book, watched the movie and had so many, like this, and this about it. For her to watch it a second time, again, just cleared up those this, and thises that she was dealing with. And I'm sure that's the case with a lot of people. And I'm pretty certain the theater that we were in had a lot of people who had already seen it and came back again
Hmm.
for a second time. And isn't that what the movie industry really wants? Repeat customers
Yes,
more than
yes,
ever? I mean, really,
yes.
that's what it comes down to.
Go again, bring all your friends, and
That's
yeah.
right. To be honest, I took I went and saw the original Star Wars 8 times because I kept taking people back to go see this movie who hadn't seen it, just because I said,
Okay,
you got to see this movie.
but,
Yeah.
I have to say it, that was a little different time because you didn't have other options. Like I know
No.
I'm not super like, oh, I have to go see it in the theater because I don't know when if I'll ever see it again. I
Hmm.
know that if I wait a month or two, I will see it on streaming and I'll probably see it like 15 times in the next year on some
Hmm.
streaming service or something like that. But, back in the day before that was an option, oh
Yeah.
yeah, of course,
Hmm.
and this is
Hmm.
this is one of the reasons why I'm not always motivated to go to the theater because I'm like, you know, sitting in my pajamas when I can like pause when I want to and is nice.
Well, my oldest daughter, Steph, has seen it twice, and she read the book, just finished
Mm.
reading it, so she went to go see the movie. And initially, I haven't spoken to her about it from seeing it the second time, but she went with her husband who had not read the book, and she just said to me he liked it, and she said when she saw it the first time she wasn't satisfied because the book was so fresh in her mind
Mm.
that she was doing the what about this and why wasn't that and so on and so forth, blah blah blah. But then she said when she saw it the second time, she enjoyed it more. And I think that's the thing is that for those who are so embedded in the book, seeing the movie maybe twice makes you feel better about it. Whereas my youngest daughter, Jenny, and her husband, Alan, I said, "Oh, are you guys going to go see the movie?" Because Alan read the book, and she's one of those people saying, "No, wait till it streams."
Yeah.
Jesus, she rather watch it, like you said, watch it at home in her PJs with a
And
nice
most
cup of
movies,
tea.
I am happy to do that these days. But like I said, yeah, this one worth seeing in the theater. Again,
Mm-hmm.
now if you're someone who doesn't want to these days do that, whatever, it's okay. But if
Mm-hmm.
you were gonna pick a movie to see in the theater, especially if you were gonna pick a movie to see in the theater multiple times,
Mm-hmm.
this would be that movie. Like if you did
Yeah.
one a year,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is
Exactly.
that one. This is
Mm-hmm.
that one for
But you're
sure.
absolutely right. And I think that's a lot of people find it just the convenience of just watching them. I do. And again, if you wait long enough, a movie that you want, oh, thank God I didn't spend money on that. Because you get to see it at home and go,
Yeah.
oh, thank God I didn't spend money on that because it wasn't worth it. Yeah, that's fine. And I mean, I've got a 65-inch TV, so I get great quality of watching a movie at home
Hmm.
with the sound system and all that,
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about the sticky floor. or,
Well, you don't have,
or
right, because you never know when you're going to the theater, you're taking a chance on your neighbors. You don't know the people around you. You
nope,
don't know.
nope, nope.
You could have a perfectly great experience. You could have a terrible experience. You never know.
And then
It's a,
halfway through the movie, if you say, I have to go use the restroom, you
hmm
just hit the pause button
I
and walk
know.
away.
That's one
In
of
the
the best
theater, you
things.
can't do that at all.
Especially for the longer movies. Back when
Hmm.
movies were, oh, gosh, I'm sounding like an old person. Back
No,
when
you're not.
movies in my day, when they were like 90 minutes, no biggie. But now that movies are like 3 hours, chances
Uh-huh.
are, and now that I'm older too, chances are in 3 hours
Yes,
I'm going to need to
yes,
pee.
that's why we did not drink a lot of coffee the other day to go see it, or the last time we had to go see the movie, because 2.5 hours, you're really kind of pushing it. You're
Hmm.
really kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
So did Ryan Gosling, was that a good choice? And I think when we talked to Andy, that was like, that
That's
had
the
either
only
just come
first,
out, like was just announced or was just about to be announced.
and that was the only one he could say. If he couldn't even say who the voice of Rocky was going to be or any of that information because it was
Yeah.
so fresh 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I will say this about Ryan Gosling: he has played now the two greatest astronauts. He played Ryan from this film, who saves the Earth from
Yeah.
total destruction, and he also played Neil Armstrong in First Man.
Which I still haven't seen yet, so we can't talk about that.
Oh, you gotta go watch that one. It's very good. It's a really good film. Then
I'm
also
taking
people
a
have
note.
jokingly said that now Ryan Gosling has danced with both a stone, Emma, and a rock. Ha ha ha. There's your bad joke of the day.
Boo.
Yeah.
That's a okay. Okay.
All right, we'll get the
Now,
bad jokes out of the way.
yeah, okay. So there is one part I'm dying to talk about,
Sure.
dying to talk about, but I'm hoping so normally, okay, for people out there who don't podcast and don't speak on stage and don't do these things. Normally, when you're having problems, you normally don't call out the problems. But I'm going to say, because I'm dying to talk about this. One of the reasons, listeners, you've only been hearing me and Steve talk for a few minutes is because Brian has been struggling with his Wi-Fi and staying connected. And I'm hoping he's back because while usually Brian is the one to talk about music, I am dying to talk about the sound. I am in love with this soundtrack like
Mm-hmm.
no
Really
other soundtrack of any movie like ever. Love this,
interesting.
love everything, the feel of the soundtrack, and to the point where in my writing sessions in the morning, I usually listen to instrumental stuff. This
Mm-hmm.
has lately been this is what I've been listening to every single morning for like the last two
Ooh,
weeks.
I'm looking it up right now on Spotify, Adina.
I mean, I
I'm
noticed it
gonna.
when when the film was on, because again, I don't always notice music, but I
Uh-huh.
noticed it. Something about the percussiony, drummy stuff. Oh my God, I love it so much.
It's interesting because, to me, the soundtrack in this is embedded in the movie.
Yes.
Like, you watch Star Wars, you don't have to watch the movie because you know the music and you know what the scenes mean and all that. It's almost like the movie is driven by the music. But here, the music is part of it, and it stands out very well. You're absolutely right. And I don't know who was, let's see, the composer of the music. What?
Daniel Pemberton.
Yeah, that's a name that's unfamiliar.
Well, what's interesting is, yeah, I because I don't, track composers like y'all do, like Ryan does. But when I looked him up, he did some of my other recent things that I do enjoy, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which is something else that, again, not something that I've been listening to, say, in the mornings, whatever. But I really enjoyed it too. So I'm like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
there's a reason. There's some
Well,
consistency here.
well, now you've got me doing it because I like to listen to movie soundtracks on my phone when I'm doing yard work. So now I got to find this on
Mhm.
Spotify and listen to it and see how, yeah, because
I
it's
remember it. I remember at times it was really. I felt it was very poignant and like there is a moment when he is at the end of the film with Rocky and all the other little Rockies teaching them. Like that whole sequence at the end of the film, I remember in
Mhm.
particular, this music did everything it needed to make this
yeah, yeah.
film all the more enjoyable. This is an example, I think, of a film that you could have gone uh, six different ways with the music.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Hmm.
so that you're right, Adina. The music is just on point and it's interesting. It doesn't get in the way
Yeah.
either, which is always a key to a good soundtrack. It's got to stand out in the right moments. It's got to make you feel the right things. Um, but it is a superb soundtrack. I remember watching it going just a few days ago, just going, wow. Uh, yeah, I am tickled, Adina, that you loved this soundtrack because
Yeah.
you don't always have a lot to say about the music in film. So
No,
I'm
no, I
tickled.
don't. I mean, every
Hmm.
now and then, I think the most musical thing in a film that I'd seen prior to this that stood out to me, this is a departure from sci-fi, but
Hmm.
there was a movie that came out, I guess, almost 2 years ago ish now, on Netflix, Saturday Night, which was the first. Uh, it's a movie about the first night of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
done kind of like it's meant to be done in like real time, like the
Hmm.
90 minutes leading up to the show.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And the music in that is, again, very percussion heavy, very like
Mm.
bohemian percussion heavy.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
again, I loved it so much. Like I said, every now and then there's something musical in a movie or film that I just love. And I think I'm seeing my theme here as I'm seeing, percussion. To the point is, this one reminded me almost a little bit like Battlestar Galactica.
Hmm.
Not the original Battlestar Galactica, but the Battlestar Galactica from 20 years, which from 20 twenty
Yeah,
five
yeah.
years ago.
Hmm.
I
But
know.
the music in that too, again, there's some, I think, because again, a lot of times the outer space music, we think of Star Wars like, Star Trek
Hmm.
like. So these that differ and have a real
Right.
different beat, a different feel, I think I'm totally into. And again, I actually like jazz a lot. So there's a little
Hmm.
jazzy, there's a
Yep.
little
Yep.
internationally. Um, and I like that because I think it's a little genre bending. So I
Yeah,
think
Hmm.
that's why it stands out to me.
exactly. It's got some sci-fi films, and it's intentional. They're so synthesized,
Hmm.
Mhm.
which isn't you get a certain feel for sure. But this movie, I just thought it was so creative.
Yeah.
It was different. This film is different. The book is obviously different.
Hmm.
And I think what I hope happens with this film, guys, is that people who don't normally go see a sci-fi-ish film might
Hmm.
be more open
Mm,
to the genre in different ways.
Well,
yeah.
what's unique about this film is that there isn't a single character, and I'm going to say this for a fact,
Ooh,
that you don't dislike. There isn't
what?
a single there isn't a single character that you watch and go, "Oh, I don't like that person," or "That's the bad guy," or "That's someone who just grates on me." Every single character in this film is likable, from Rocky to Ryan to even the woman that
Eva.
has him abducted and
Yeah.
put on the spaceship. Even she has positive qualities that you say, I like her, especially when she karaoke
I mean,
sings.
but she is fundamentally charged with helping to save the human race. So yeah, even though she's got a little bit of an edge, she does, cross that
Hmm.
ethical boundary of basically kidnapping. Right? But again,
Yeah.
the needs of the many outweigh the needs of
Yeah,
the, in
yeah.
a real serious, no kidding, end of the world kind of way. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, I am morally okay.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
Well,
I'm just putting it out there again.
right.
If the end of the world and the end of the species is on the line, I am okay with crossing boundaries that otherwise like wouldn't be crossed or shouldn't be crossed.
And I know you guys talked a little bit about this when my internet was wigging out on me. But like that scene was so powerful. Ryan Gosling played that so beautifully.
Yeah.
Hmm.
um, that you in that moment you go, oh, you were like you could. I love films that make you feel like you're the characters. Like
Hmm.
what if that
Hmm.
makes you feel that way? And he did that so well that I was like, God, this sucks. Like
Hmm.
I get it too. Like I got it.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, oh no, like but one of the great things about this story is that he is the um hesitant hero. You know,
Yes,
he's that guy that or reluctant is the word I really wanted.
that's
Hmm.
He's
the
the
word you're right.
reluctant hero
Exactly.
that rises to the occasion, which is very Star Trekky,
Hmm.
Hmm.
in my opinion. And he does something remarkable. And even at the end of the film, he's recording the messages and he kind of gives her a nod, knowing she's listening. And I can't remember his exact words now.
Hmm.
But not
He says
knowing
something
she's
like,
listening because
Hmm.
he doesn't know. There's no way for him to know.
Yeah.
She could be dead for all he knows,
"Oh,
Yeah,
you're
because
right," but
yeah,
right?
because
he's recording it for her, though, in essence, because he
Yes.
says.
Yes.
But you're absolutely right. He doesn't know for sure.
Yeah.
And so, but he says something like, "You were right."
Yeah.
And you see that moment, and that's what I love about her character is you see that moment of joy, like all the hard work, all the time she had to be a hard ass,
hmm
all the time
hmm
Hmm.
she had to make really sucky, hard, terrible decisions to
Hmm.
move this thing along for the sake of all humanity. You get to see that kind of moment of recognition and joy in her face, which is so
Yeah.
fulfilling in the story. You get
Yeah,
to
you're rooting
see
because
that
you're rooting.
joy.
We're rooting for everyone. Like we're
Yes.
rooting
Yes.
for everyone to come out on top here.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
and that's and to see it happen. So now let me um ask a follow-on question related to this because I
Hmm.
think one of my colleagues at work brought this up because there was so I don't know if this is true.
Mm.
And honestly, I don't want to know. I'll be honest, I don't want to know yet. But there's been, I guess, because whenever there's a successful movie or whatever, there is talk of a sequel or
Oh
something.
yeah. Hmm.
Like, I'll be honest, like,
Money, money,
no,
money, money,
no, no. This was
money.
perfect. This was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
leave it alone. I don't. I'm
Just make
okay with
another
them.
Andy Weir book into a
Yes,
film.
It's
yes.
And just
Andy
do
Weir
that.
is
actually
awesome. Do something else.
well, I believe that Artemis is in pre-production or in
Yeah,
pre-planning. So
and
there you
that's
go.
fine.
And now he's got to write another book, which
Yeah,
I think I heard he's also working on a new book
yeah,
as well, which is great.
Yeah.
yeah. That is totally fine. Leave this alone. The ending was
Yeah.
so satisfying.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no reason.
We don't need to know more.
No,
No.
this is fine. Sometimes it's fine. It's okay to.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
okay.
standalone films that are really great like this one
mhm.
will live on.
Yeah.
I feel like there's always a risk when you make a sequel that you kind of dim the first one a little bit, even in the
Right.
slightest bit. Now,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that film still isn't great, but I feel like that's always a risk. Like people will go, "Oh, why'd they do that?" or "This is so disappointing."
Hmm.
And I would love to see this film just stand alone, like you're saying,
Yes.
Adina, and
It
just
does.
Yes.
It
be
is.
what it is.
It has a
Yes.
beginning, a middle, and an end, and that's it.
And a
And you're absolutely
satisfying end.
now in the Adina, do you remember in the book, did Andy write about the arrival of the Beatles back to Earth?
I I don't
I
remember if he actually wrote. I think it just kind of no. I think it was just kind of he's with Rocky and their people, and I think there's talk about him figuring out how he can go back to Earth. I
right.
don't remember if there was any if we the reader got any information that things did make it back, but I feel like I was left also with the same satisfying
Yeah.
end
I
of
was. I think
yeah.
that was great, showing the Earth in what is looking like a new ice age,
Hmm.
with it snowing, with her ship being an icebreaker cutting through the water, and then watching the message from him on the computer,
Hmm.
and you know that everything's going to be okay. That there'll
Yeah.
be the sun will rise up tomorrow.
Hmm.
Bet your bottom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
Brian. I'm sorry.
Somewhere over the
So yeah, so
rain.
now
There
so
you
they're
go.
gonna
Thank you.
so after The Martian and before Project Hail Mary came out, there was his other book, Artemis, which I did read in that intervening time. Because of course,
Hmm.
after I read The Martian, well, what else did this guy write? So I read Artemis, and it was okay. It was interesting. It was nowhere near The Martian or Project Hail Mary. I'm okay with the fact that if they're gonna turn it into something on screen, it's kind of cool.
Hmm.
I'm a little the biggest thing that I had an issue with was the main character, Jazz. And so I guess we'll at some point this will come out
Yeah.
and we'll talk about it then. So I guess I don't need to go into it.
Right.
But it might be something. So one, I would say it's worth reading.
Hmm.
And I think when I say I had an
Artemis?
issue,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
Artemis
grittier.
is the one I read before Andy came on our show. I read
okay,
that all the way through.
Okay.
okay,
So it's
yeah.
a bit
The biggest thing
grittier.
is I don't how do I say this without sounding really terrible? Um,
I can't wait now.
Not, yeah. So I don't know.
Are you being
Sometimes
diplomatic?
I feel like men don't always write strong female characters well.
Hmm.
And at the beginning of the book, I wasn't thrilled with Jack because I feel like some men, and again, they're trying to do them justice,
Hmm.
but I feel like there's something like it's almost like they're overcompensating. And in making them a strong, independent woman, it's like I don't know, it's almost like they go a little too far. I can't explain it.
Where,
Um,
yeah, I get it because there's a point where you go, it can become unrealistic. It can
and it
become a
was,
little farce.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and so Jazz, at least at the start, kind of stretched it for me. I think by the end of the book, it was
Yeah.
fine. It worked out
Hmm.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the
Because the
beginning of
end,
the book,
she's
I
the
was not,
hero.
yeah. But at the beginning of the book, I was not, I was, yeah, that's all I can
I
say.
get it.
One of the people who I think has done the best eventually, because I think one of is Scalzi. I think he writes
Oh,
women.
okay.
I think
Hmm.
he eventually wrote women characters much better. The the what is it? The Emperor. Oh, there's one series he had that also the main character. I was like it was kind of like a little bit over the top, a little trying too hard.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I think he's in his recent novels, he's gotten way, way, way better. But then again, most of
Hmm.
his novels don't have female main characters. They're pro prominent characters, but not necessarily from the point of view or main character.
Yeah.
Well, like anything, you go from book to film, and there's
Yeah,
alterations and changes. They
yeah.
may tone her down. They may toughen her up. They,
Well, and who
you
plays her
never
will
know.
make a big
Exactly.
whoever is chosen to play her,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I think
And
will make the
all
biggest difference in that. Yeah.
right. And so that'll be interesting to see where that goes. But like again, when we interviewed Andy 2 years ago, this thing was just at the beginning. I
Hmm.
mean, he so graciously even showed us a little model of what Rocky was
Mhm.
going to look like when we interviewed him, which too
Oh,
bad we
that's
could
right. I
not.
forgot about that.
Yes, he showed us that. He had a little Rocky.
I forgot.
And he showed us that. And so, I mean, that's where they were at that point. So wherever they are right now with Artemis, it's at the very beginning. And
Yeah.
when it'll come out, it hasn't even been talked about yet. I mean, it's just the
My
words are coming out.
goodness.
So that'll be the next one. But he is a good storyteller.
Yeah.
And It's always about solving, like you said, a problem, overcoming a situation, growing potatoes. Okay. Figuring
Check.
out how to kill a microbe in outer space that's, bite with an amoeba. I mean,
Hmm.
these are the things that is where he's at his best. And he writes likable characters, and they were presented on the screen as likable. And I mean, if people don't want to name their pet dogs Rocky after watching this film, I mean, because Rocky he is adorable.
Hmm.
Like him so much, especially when they give him his voice.
Yes.
And you see how the two of them interact. And yes, it was, he always kept around that laptop, his universal translator. And I like like the fact
Yeah,
that he
that was
always
fun.
carried that with him rather than just saying, oh, they can talk anywhere. But, it was just, it's a buddy film is really what it is.
It is, but you know what I loved? I love part of the resolution I love of this film and how they came back around to him teaching Rocky and all the other rock-like
Rockettes,
aliens,
Rockettes.
rockets. Oh my
Yeah, that was
goodness.
adorable. That was just
Um,
pure
I
adorable.
just what I love about that is it brought it back around. He did actually have a joy for teaching. He
Yeah.
was this genius ended up in this spot where he literally was the guy that had to go for several different, but he was the guy forced into it, all that stuff. But he it just made that whole scene where he was being forced even more powerful looking back on it, because he did love teaching. He didn't want to leave his
Mm-hmm.
class. He was
Mm-hmm.
making a difference and an impact. And I think that is what you get to see the pure joy of. My son my daughter just had a drum concert tonight at her school, and we interacted with some of my daughter's and my son's favorite teachers. And I was just reminded, like, those women have such joy in what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
they celebrate my kids' accomplishments and success, and it is such. Mm, I'm
That's
getting
a great
emotional.
teacher.
It's a
That's a great
beautiful
teacher.
thing when
Mm-hmm.
someone else says, "I believe in your kids," and teachers have impacted me through the years, and so I love that thread in this film. It's so
Yeah.
well done, and Ryan Gosling,
Mm-hmm.
man, he's the man. I mean, he
Yeah.
just
Yep.
really.
Yeah.
There were so many scenes of him. It was CGI. It was him acting alone, basically.
Mm-hmm.
There was probably someone giving him direction or a voice or something, but I mean, that's just incredible acting
Mm-hmm.
when, there's not a human interacting with you face to face in a normal way. So
Yep.
I'm gonna, if they ever extend Academy Award nominations to podcasters like us,
Oh, I hope so.
he's probably getting my vote this year
Yeah,
for this
I
Yeah.
hope
for
so.
role in this film. Is that good?
This film should win like all the awards and like so many levels
I
on
hope
so many
so.
things.
The
Yeah.
effects
Yes.
were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
wasn't any special effect in this film that I went,
Yeah.
it was all. This is Adina. This is just one of those films, because you had kind of alluded to this. Of course, I'm talking to our friend Steve too, but Adina and Steve. This is just one of those films I was able to just sit back, relax, and freaking enjoy.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's that good.
Yep.
And then to have my wife there, and we
Mm-hmm.
kind of had a date thing going on with it, and but she was so pleasantly surprised at this film. She was laughing at all the right parts.
Mm-hmm.
And just we walked out of that, both of us, like, wow, that was a terrific, fun, uplifting film, because it sure could have ended terribly.
Oh,
It could have,
oh,
and
Hmm.
they could have pulled one on us at the end in an effort to surprise everybody who read the book,
mm-hmm.
and have a different type of ending. Like I'm glad this film had a
Yeah.
happy
Yeah. I'm
ending.
glad they didn't do that.
So
Well,
let me ask
so
you the. Oh, go ahead, Dina.
no, you asked because I was going to ask a
Okay.
final question.
Oh,
Okay.
right, let's
All
go.
right. But this is my question for you, Brian.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Would you take your kids to see this movie?
No, because it's expensive to go to the theater these days.
Okay.
They will
when
watch
it's
it on streaming though with us.
okay,
We have
that's
made
good.
that decision.
Okay, so
That
there's nothing in this film that's
no,
inappropriate.
no,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
even the
no.
concept of okay, the end of the world. I mean, the end of the world was portrayed in so many other films, including one we recently had on our show about
My
the when worlds collide. I
right.
mean, this is this is a film I think that kids can watch because
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
it is educational, it's likable, it's relatable.
I just my sons watch the Hobbit movies now. Like that's way darker and has
Yeah.
things that are more nightmarish or
Yeah.
tougher to watch. Like so, and they've watched plenty. He's watched almost all the Trek films. Like this film is got its dramatic parts in it, but I'm tickled to death, Adina and Steve, that they chose to make a film that could be open to a broader audience, that they didn't go R rated, they didn't add a bunch of language that
Mm-mm.
was unnecessary. It's
Mhm.
not a childish film by any stretch of the imagination either.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't like dumb it down or make it cheesy that way so kids could watch it. They just did a fantastic, they let the actors act.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this is great. It is a
Mm-hmm.
film the whole family can watch.
Yeah,
Yeah. So one
exactly.
of the people that I went to the theater with was my, 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old Frank. And so one of the things I have to say, I'm done censoring things I don't censor what he watches
Oh,
anymore.
no.
So we're past that. But now my 7-year-old, yeah, I would have no problem with him watching. In fact, when it is straight, again, if he happens to be
Hmm.
around and is interested, and I don't know. Now, the thing with what you're saying about like the end of the world, I actually think the way it's done in this for a 7-year-old might actually be over their head because
Yeah.
it's
A little
not
bit,
it's
yeah.
not actually visual. Like I don't think they would get that existential crisis of that, So I'm not worried. Yeah, I'm not worried. There's nothing in this movie that would make me say, no, this kid shouldn't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's it. I think so.
Really brilliant move by the
Yeah.
filmmakers to do
Yeah.
that because there's so much like I mean statistically I mean PG and G rated movies tend to earn more money anyways
Mhm.
statistically than
Hmm.
R rated films. PG-13 I'm not so sure of, but R rated films I know earn significantly less unless they're one of those rare absolute blockbusters.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um and so I'm just tickled they went this route. They could have easily gone for a higher rating if they wanted to. And this just opens the film up to a broader audience. And as
Hmm.
a sci-fi fan, I'm thrilled because I
Yeah.
think there's going to be people, first of all, who are going to go watch this film just because of Ryan Gosling.
Hmm.
Many, many people are going to go see this film just because of Ryan Gosling.
Hmm.
And then hopefully they're going to say, I
Wow.
might have to read this Andy Weir guy, or
Hmm.
maybe I need to be more open to some science fiction stuff. And that's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
I think
Yeah.
you're right. I
Yeah.
think you're right.
Well, so the
So
final
what's your
question I was
yeah,
going to
thank
ask,
you.
which I feel
Hmm.
like is like an ease is going to be for this is like the easiest thing is, we always, whenever we talk about a movie, we always come back to the Brian Donahue 5-star rating system,
Can I
copyright,
stop you
trademark,
right
whatever.
there? Can I stop you because the other day I was listening to one of our recent episodes and I think it must have been Steve or Chris that said the Brian Donahue patented, incorporated, whatever, 5-star rating. And my son stopped in his tracks. He goes, "You didn't invent that." I thought, oh, great, perfect.
No, no,
Thank
you
you.
didn't invent it. You perfected it. How
Oh,
about
Steve,
that?
you're
Okay.
my favorite.
Well, the question is at this point, like, seriously, between the three of us, are any of us
Hmm.
giving this less than a 5?
No,
No,
it
Okay.
deserves a
no,
5.
because it meets that one important criteria. I could watch it again
Well, the
and
two important,
again
yeah, two,
and
yes,
again. And
yes,
that is a
yeah,
big one. And then
Mhm.
yeah.
secondly, of course, that there isn't something in it that you go, yeah, I don't think there's a really in this movie as well. For either
Yeah.
those who have read the book, unless, of course, again, you are a stickler that every single word in
Mhm.
470 pages have to appear in a 2.5 hour film. No,
Yeah.
maybe a 10 episode hour-long TV show giving you 10 hours to do something.
If I have one thing that I remember sitting through, and this is so nitpicky, but if there's one thing, I was concerned when he was coming out of it and figuring stuff out, and he had memory loss, and he was learning more and more.
Mhm.
Like that for me, just for a hair of a second in film seconds, felt a little too drawn out. I was like, oh, I hope they don't linger here too much longer.
Waiting till you read the book.
And so I bet. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, that's one of those things you have to make decisions in film.
Yes.
But it was besides, I don't know of a film, guys, that I've watched recently where I have been that so ridiculously nitpicky like I just was about that sequence in the film as the thing that bugged me just the slightest. This film is, I'm so glad we watched it.
Yeah.
And that we're talking about it.
And we have not reviewed a film that just came out the other day.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We've always let's go back to 1970 or 1980 or 2000s or whatever it might be. We haven't dealt with a film that just is fresh.
Yeah.
And I hope anyone who's listening to this podcast, if they haven't seen this movie, we've spoiled it for you. I'm sorry. Too bad. Now you got to go see the movie. Be like the readers of the book who read the book and then went and saw the movie. We knew everything. It was all spoiler alert for us who read the book.
All good. It was still great.
I do want to say one thing. We don't do this often on the podcast, but I want to invite our fans, people that listen to this podcast, to email us, to Facebook message us, follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Tell us what you think about this film, and tell us if you've read the book, and in particular, if you've read the book, how you feel about the film, and interact with us that way, because we are just so giddy about this film. We're open to what you guys think and how you feel about the film too. So let's have fun, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep the conversation going.
Absolutely.
Well, so having talked with Andy Weir, I'm going to say one thing really sticks with me, and that's his stories work because they're not just about the science. They're about people solving problems and making mistakes and dealing with it. Now, so the question for y'all listeners is, do you feel this film delivered? Hopefully you agree with us. Is this full amaze? Or did you log some anomalies in the system? I don't know. Well, either way, the movie got one thing right. It's that the heart of this story isn't just survival. It's some curiosity and connection as well, and figuring things out, even when you're completely out of your depth. And honestly, if you can make that work between two completely different species, then you're probably doing okay. Until next time, stay curious, stay nerdy, and if you ever find yourself in deep space with a problem, start solving. Because as Andy Weir proved, you don't have to understand everything. You just have to figure out the next step. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Big Sci Fi Podcast. We're a proud part of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, and you can listen to more of our over 150 episodes at trekgeeks.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel now. Until next time, live long and prosper.